Yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Bertrude and today we're using a build that's a high faith build and it's got one particularly powerful inner demon. This is a level 190 build simply because I ran out of runes to level it up to 200. We've got 60 vigour, 60 dex and 60 faith. We're using the holy tier to boost our holy attacks and the opaline hard tier for the damage negation, and here's a quick look at the armour and talismans we're using on the build. We've got two options when it comes to our main weapons. First off, we've got two Blades of the Calling daggers. We can then also use two Michelin Knight swords. And then at all times, I like to keep the Halo Scythe in our second weapon slot. We've then got a selection of 4 quite flashy incantations on the build, as well as our buff, the Golden Vow. And that's the build guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the content, but it's time for you lot to sit back, relax, get yourselves a cup of tea and enjoy the video. So guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fan-dabby-dozy day. Hope you're all having a good one. And this is a really fun build. I like to call this build simply a Man of Faith. It's one of my early builds that I played around with, being in the high faith category. And we are using some quite flashy incantations on the build. Noticeably, we've got Elden stars on the build, which can be really good for harassment. And if you notice throughout these invasions, we've got the Blade of the Calling and the Halo Scythe, which are two really good options when it comes to the Ash of War for some long range harassment. So a trick I like to use on this build is to use the Elden stars, and then as they're running away we can use the Halo Scythe or the Blades of the Calling, long range Ashes of War, to do some really good damage. As I mentioned at the start of the video guys, this build has got a particularly strong inner demon, and you're about to see it now. The Placid Dusax's Ruin, if that's even how you pronounce that name. It's a really strong incantation if you manage to catch him in the beam. It is quite easy to be interrupted, but if you use it at the right time, you're going to absolutely destroy him in that first big explosion. So the build is constantly at odds with the inner demon. He's trying to control it. He's a nice guy. He tries to be quite respectful, quite humble. He's quite a nice person, but he's got that inner demon. Don't make him angry or the demon's going to be awoken. Don't mess with the dragon. Do not awaken the dragon, guys. There's a sleeping dragon in this build, and if you wake him up, then that's bad news for you, because the Placidusaxios's Ruin, the Placidudar, the Placidoodle McToodle, you don't want to bring him out guys. You don't want to see that inner demon. I try to keep it under control. I've had a word with him. I've said you need to stay calm. It's not worth getting the inner demon out, and you're going to get yourself in trouble. You're going to give yourself a bad name if people see that you've got that inner anger that you can't control. People are going to start thinking you're a bit of a nutcase. You know what I mean? A bit of a nutter. A bit of a crazy man. He tries to keep on top of it, he tries to keep it under wraps, but it doesn't always happen guys. You'll see throughout the invasion, sometimes the demon takes over, the little voice in his head takes over, sometimes the intrusive thoughts win and the demon comes out to play. And like I say, it usually ends up in bad news for whoever the host is. You don't want to mess with him. Sometimes it is what it is, it just happens. Now look at this invasion, we've got this pretty cool 2-on-2 going. Something I've noticed loads in invasions lately. It's so active guys, it is so active. If you spawn into a 2-on-1 invasion, you can be pretty much guaranteed that you're going to get a co-invader at the minute. Or you're going to invade into a 2-on-1 that's currently happening, and you can play the hero and come in and help your fellow red man. Just like this invasion, we've got our co-invader, and you can see there he's sending over some of the skull emojis. Now I used that spell on my Chaos Maker build a couple of videos ago, and I really do like it as an invader. It's a really good tool. It can be an absolute nightmare when you've got a gank or you've got someone just spamming it at you if you invade. You know, it can be a bit of a depressive spell, but if you use it in the right situation and you don't just spam it, it can be really good. So between us, we've got a pretty strong couple of setups for this invasion. We've got a lot of things that can keep these two busy. Now you can see we've got the double nagging arter guy, and look at that, Blade of the Calling Ash of War just knocks him on his bum. knocks him on his bum, leaves him at one shot, and then I just do a nice little switch to the Halo Scythe, And the Ash of War, the Miquella's Ring of Light on the Ash of War, just an absolute quality Ash of War. Long range, super long range actually, both of the Ash of Wars on these weapons, the Scythe and the Blades of the Calling Daggers, both of the Ashes of War are really, really long range, so they're so good for finishing people off when they're low health. And it kind of just fits into the theme of this build. We've got a lot of long range harassment options. Now this was a really fun invasion. This host was feeling extra brave. For some reason he left his summon at the top of the lift and he came down for a one-on-one just on his own. The host was like, don't you worry sunshine, you stay there and watch the show. I'm going to put a masterclass on and I'm going to go and kill this bad red man. But it didn't really happen that way, did it? And then watch this. The summon thinks he's missing out on all the action. What is all that about? What was that invasion? I don't know what the host was thinking. He had a rush of blood to the head, guys. He was feeling extra brave. And he just played it all wrong. He played it all wrong. But hats off to him. He was feeling like a hero. But a hero he wasn't. Good attempt though. You've got to admire it. Now, Elden Stars, guys. Elden Stars. It's one of those incantations, isn't it? It's one of those spells in this game. It's got a bit of a reputation. But the way I like to use it on the build is for a harassment tool. It's a little bit like the Chaos Maker build that I use. The same way that I use the Ancient Death's Rancor, the skull emoji spell that I just spoke about a couple of invasions ago. The same way I like to use that spell is the same way I like to use Elden Stars on this build. It can be a bit oppressive if you've got someone spamming it at you, but if you use it cleverly as part of an overall kit, you can really make it work in your favour. And what the Elden Stars is good at, just like what the Ancient Death's Rancor is good at, is splitting up a gank and causing confusion amongst the ranks. It gets them running and it gives you options to do some different attacks while they're running away from the Elden Stars. And look at that, Scarlet Aeonia, guys. We've got Scarlet Aeonia on the build just because why not? Just because why not? Do you know what I mean? Is there any more stylish incantation in the build than Scarlet Aeonia if you can land it? If you can land it, it's just the biggest ego boost ever. And if you can get a kill with the Scarlet Aeonia, well, that's just another level altogether. So we've managed to kill both summons in this invasion. It's now a one-on-one with me and the host, and he's about to see the inner demon. The little voices in the head are taking over, and there it is. There's the demon, guys. Get absolutely laser beamed. The intrusive thoughts come through once again and just take over. Sometimes the anger just gets too much, and the inner demon has to come out. The inner demon just has to show itself. You can't keep these things suppressed sometimes. It's not good for your mental health, do you know what I mean? If you've got an inner demon, sometimes you just got to let it out, although you can't let it out too much. As I said, he's going to give himself a bad name if he's just getting the inner demon out all the time. That's not who he is as a person, guys. As I said, he's like a Buddhist monk. He's high faith. He does a lot of meditation and prayer and study and all that. He's a clever man. He's a calm man. He likes the quiet, subtle things in life. But just like us all, he's got that inner voice in his head that whispers naughty bad things to him. And sometimes it's just too much and he just can't control it. Now that was unlucky. I went for the Scarlet Aeonia there. I thought if I could have landed that in the middle of him doing his Starcaller Cry, Radan Sword, Ash of War, that would have just been sweeter bits, but unfortunately it didn't work out. But I managed to get the backstab on him and I get some good damage on the host. And the inner demon speaking again. The inner demon, you can see us lining it up there. He's like, just get it ready. Just get the inner demon ready. Get the dragon ready. You might not use it, but you never know. Sometimes I'm just going to come out and say hello when you least expect it. So if you get it lined up, oh, there it is. There's the inner demon. There he is. And we catch him in the laser beam at the end and have another one. Oh, have another one, Mr. Horse. The inner demon. The dragon's been awoken. Don't come here and mess with my Albinauric friends, because that makes me very angry. That makes him so angry that he just lets the demon run riot. He's not going to try and control it whatsoever if you've come here to massacre my Albinauric friends. If you come to commit genocide on my Albinaurics, you're going to meet my inner dragon, my friend, and I'm going to double hit you with it. Now, as I was saying earlier, guys, it's super active, and as soon as I spawn into this invasion against this duo, we've got a fellow invader with us. It's just awesome. The buzz around the game at the minute is so good, it's so active. At all levels, it's active at all levels, guys. I'm currently making another new build as we speak. It's nearly finished, and that's going to be a level 60 build. So I'm looking forward to doing some invasions at level 60 and getting some co-invasions at level 60. Because I've done some invasions all over the place lately and it's all super active. So yeah, like I said, I've been working on a new build, guys. Build number 44. And I'm not going to say anything about it at this point. But I've just been working 2 night shifts at work, and I'm lucky enough that when I work a night shift, it's quite chilled out and I can take my Xbox, and it's a good time for me to work on some builds, which is probably part of the reason why I do have so many builds, because you know, I'm lucky enough to be in a position where if I work a night shift, I can work on Elden Ring builds, so it's not bad. So yeah, build number 44 coming up in the next video after this one, I think, and it's going to be pretty sweet. But yeah, hopefully it's as active as this one's been. Now you can see there, we've just lost our co-invader. We've just lost him, so it's down to a 2-on-1. But their Wrath of Gold's just keeping him under control. This host, he was getting a little bit excited. He was pushing onto us a little bit too much. So Wrath of Gold just keeps him under control and just puts him in his place. Gives me a bit of time to think. Now these two are being super aggressive and I can't blame them. They've just managed to kill my other invader friend, so they're just being super aggro, trying to rush me down. And look at that, he dodges the Wrath of Gold and gets a nice backstab. Fair play. If that Ash of War on the big greatsword would have hit me, that would have been game over. But at this point I'm just trying to back up and give myself some time, because I know that the chances of me getting another fellow invader involved are very, very high. So I'm just trying to back up and heal up and then see what happens. The horse here is still being super aggressive. Fair play to this guy, you know, he's got the Rivers of Blood, he's got a double katana set up, but he's not just spamming the Ash of War on the rivers. Fair play. And you can see there, we've got another invader, just as I was hoping. I bided my time and I knew that another invader had come along shortly. So now, give myself a bit of space and we'll go back to work. Our new invader comes right in, big Ash of War with the Moon Veil and super long range Ash of War there from the Halo Scythe, and we finish off the host. Little wiggle of justice from there just to celebrate. The guy was using the Moon Veil, our fellow invader, so it is what it is, but I'll take it after a good invasion. Came in and saved the day, and then I just finished him off. Now look at this, this is absolutely hilarious. We go for the Elden stars on the summon. Look at him, he's just he's just frozen in place, sir. So I just ignore him and then he's gone. And look at where look at him in background. Where is he going? Where are you going? Look at him. He's going to the moon. He's just said, see you later, I'm off ski. So it was a 2-on-1, but it soon quickly become a 1-on-1 with me and the horse. Now you can see here we're using Death Lightning on this invasion. I actually ditched this off the build. I'm not a big fan of it. It's too inconsistent. It's just the weirdest spell I've ever used in the game, I think. It's very, very strange. Sometimes you think it's guaranteed to hit and it doesn't hit. And it also takes up 2 spell slots, so I did end up ditching that one and I put Wrath of Gold and the Golden Vow on the build in its place, and I think that was a better decision overall. Something else as well, you can see we're using some different armour. This was actually the original armour on this build that I used, but I switched it up some different armour, and I just kind of alternate between the two of them. I think they both look really good. The other one gives us a little bit more poise, but either way, you know, I think they both look really cool. And the Inner Demon comes out again to finish this invasion off in style. Is there any better way to finish an invasion than that? I don't think there is, guys. I don't think there is. If you can think of any, let me know. But between the Placidudar's Ruin and the Scarlet Aeonia, either of those two is a super stylish way to end an invasion. So they're both good by me. And look at this. What an atrocious invasion this is. We've got 2 Rivers of Blood users, we've got 1 White Mask user. We've got to keep those numbers down, guys. I hope you all out there doing your bit to control the White Mask numbers, the breeding, the multiplying, the turning up more and more. It's becoming an epidemic. We need to get on top of it. I hope you're all doing your bit. I know I'm doing mine, but these two were just spamming the living hell out of the Ash of War and the Rivers of Blood. So I had to take my time, I had to back up, get my attacks in when I could. You know what I mean? Look at that, look at the damage on the White Mask, and his mate just comes and just spams the hell out of that Ash of War. That's what this invasion is, it's just a big spam fest. You know I love spam. I love a bit of spam, it's my favourite food. Spam is my favourite food. In fact, I'm feeling a bit hungry. I might go and open a tin. I mean, if you look at these two must be absolutely starving because they're just feasting on spam. They just can't stop eating it. It's just a spam fest. I tried to come to these big electrical balls here for a bit of cover, just to give myself a bit of time to work, but unfortunately I couldn't make it work, and look how angry I am. Look how angry I am. They awoken the dragon, but unfortunately the spam prevailed in that instance, so I've got to back up again. I've got to back up, try and buy myself a bit of time, try and get some PvE support, because I can't take these two on just one-on-one straight up because the spam is too much. And look at that, luckily we ran into a dragon, long range Ash of War again, the Blade of Gold, and we take out the summon. Now this invasion's flipped on its head, and look at the White Mask coward. Look at this absolute scrub-a-dub-dub. You get running, son, you get running. You're no good when you're on your own, are you? It's no fun when you've not got your babysitter, is it? Anyway guys, this is the last invasion of the video. We're going to end it on a nice little White Mask destruction. But you lot take it easy, look after yourselves, and I'll see you all on the next video.